Hey, good morning, good morning. First things first, obviously get the agenda stuff, but I do want to say this over here where it says keep calm. There are only 3 weeks left. Now, if you've been doing all of your work and you've been doing everything you're supposed to do, then you can stay calm. You can relax. It's not a big deal to you, right? Because when you do everything little by little, then there's not a lot to do at the end of the trimester besides finish the last few assignments. But if you have not been doing your work, you can't keep calm. You've actually got to work at a feverish pace, and everyone has been there, and it sucks. And then hopefully that'll teach you the lesson to say, I'm going to stop falling behind. It's because as a student, you got to finally figure that out. Like, hey, I am going to stop falling behind, and I'm going to do my work each week, right? So hopefully after you get yourself together these next few weeks, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm gonna stop falling behind you because that sucks. And every student has been there at some point. But I'm like, man, you got to make that decision as a student to be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna do all my work in class. I'm gonna pay attention. I'm gonna do my best. Cool. When I was teaching this lesson, literally, when I was doing the practice, some people were literally just sitting there doing nothing, and I had to go over to their table and be like, hey, like let's get to it. Let's get to it. But as a student, you've got to start like turning that over because you guys are going to be in high school before you know it. In less than a year, you're going to be in high school. Like look at the date. In less than a year, you're going to be in high school. Okay. So, go ahead and go to your quiz. Look that up. You can do the quiz. You can look it over. All you have to do is go to Canvas, go to quizzes. It'll be over here on the, I guess it's on this side of the screen. It'll be quizzes, right? And then you'll see on the right-hand side, it'll say submission details. I don't think I can do that because there's only certain things they let me see in like student view. But here, I think I can at least show you somewhat what it looks like. So you would just go to Canvas. Here, let me go to one of these courses, blah, blah. And then you'll just go over here to where it says quizzes. And then I'm not going to click the next part because that's going to show everybody's quiz. But then you would click the quiz, right, number 2, and then submission details, okay? So that's like how it should look, all right? Also, I have found that sometimes it does not load on the first shot. So what you need to do is just refresh that thing, and then it usually loads on second. So if it doesn't load initially, just refresh the tab, and then it should load. That's what I found yesterday. Okay. Cool. So let's move forward. I just want to make sure we're good with this over here. This idea that speed equal, and so say it with me, speed equals distance divided by time. That's all you see here. Speed equals distance divided by time. And just remember, it's not a specific distance unit, and it's not a specific time unit. So you could use miles, you could use meters, you could use kilometers, right? You could use centimeters. For time, you could use seconds, you could use minutes, you could use hours, you could use days, you could use months. So like depending on the object, so if you're like using the earth and how it's traveling around the sun, then you probably are not going to choose necessarily like meters. That's probably going to be too small. So you might want to use something larger like miles, or you might want to use something larger like kilometers or something, right? And then for the time, you might want to use something more like days, weeks, months, right? So for the earth, it might be months. But if you're talking about the moon, you might be talking about like in a month because it takes the moon about a month to go around the earth. So it just depends on the object that you're talking about. And then if you just want to turn speed into velocity, the only thing you need is direction, okay? So again, just get direction, and then now you will have velocity. So if you take a look at this, 4 meters divided by 2 seconds, you get 2 meters per second, and then 2 meters per second to the right, bam, you have velocity. All right, cool. Just as a reminder about displacement, displacement is how far you are from where you started, okay? So your origin point, where did you begin, right? Your beginning position, how far are you from that? So how far is your final position from your beginning position? And then distance traveled is the total distance that you traveled. So like Mr. Farr, right? His total displacement usually is about 30 miles, but my total distance traveled is more like 32, 33 miles because right here from where I'm at in my room, which is where I am most of the time, that's where my displacement will be. But then if I go to the office, I walked in from the parking lot to here. So my displacement is from where I am right now to my house, But my distance traveled is all of the distances I traveled. So if I go to the bathroom, or I go to the cafeteria, or I go to the office, but if I come back to this room, that's where my total displacement is. My distance traveled is all of those different distances added up. Also, if I walk around this room multiple times, which I do all throughout the desk, helping students on stuff, that's my total distance traveled, even though my displacement is from my position right here, which is in this room. So that's how they can be different, okay? And often are. All right, so what I want you to do is we will walk through this, one of them. I don't know where I'm going to put myself because no matter where I am, I'm blocking something. But anyway, so this is the whole worksheet that you have. And then this right here, this part right here, this is just a blow up of the map, okay? So that's all that is. So if we take a look, let's go ahead and we'll do segment A together, and then we'll do this bottom part together. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and get this, and I'm going to say, give me that, and then I'm going to go, oh, wait, X that, so I can get myself up out of there. Yeah, close that. I'm going to move myself over here, sauce. I'm going to do this, say new, and then I'm going to go ahead and do this right here, blat out. Ta-da. Cool. Now I got myself, I'm going to put myself up over here somewhere. Okay. So one thing I do want to talk about here, and let me move that down, is this compass right here. Okay, so let's just talk about that for a second. Is this idea that this direction headed from this part of the map going up and kind of up to the right, that seems to be north. So then going down this way seems to be east, and then heading back down that way is south, and then headed this way, right, from here to here seems to be west. So I just want to make sure we're good with that. So from the start to the end of segment A, that is east. And then if we go from segment A to segment B, right, boom, that seems to be north. Okay, so then east, north, and then now we're going from segment D to E, and that seems to be west. Okay, so I just want to make sure we're clear with those types of directions. All right, now let's go ahead and go back to sauce and sauce the boss. Ooh, I don't know where I went. That's okay. You don't really need to see me. So let's go ahead and just do segment A right here, okay? So we need to do speed is equal to distance divided by time. Then we need to actually turn it into velocity. So in order to do that, right, we just need, okay, so I got speed is equal to distance divided by time. So what's the distance for segment A? It's 90 meters. So I'm just going to go 90 meters divided by, the time is 30 seconds. So I'll put 30 seconds. And I'm going to say is equal to, and then that would be 3 meters per second. And then the direction is from here to here, that is east. Cool. So we're going to have to squeeze all this in there. So now for segment B, right? For segment B, so I'm going to go like this. So segment B, right here, we're saying, oh, 120 meters is my distance, and then 60 seconds is my, so I'm going to put 120 meters, and I'm going to put the 60 seconds as my time, and then that's going to end up being 2 meters per second. And then that looks like that's going north. So I'm just going to put an N right there, okay? Then I'm going to be like, all right, cool. Then I'm going to say for segment C, which is this part, 250 meters looks like it's my distance. And then 50 seconds looks like my time. So 250 meters divided by 50 seconds is equal to, oh, whoops. Ooh. Hold on. Let's erase that because that's not right. So 250 divided by 50, right, is 5. So that'd be 5 meters per second. And then this looks like it is traveling in what I think it was east. So I'm going to go with east again. Okay, so I'm going to go whoop, whoop, whoop. All right, for sure. And then for the next one, for D, this looks like 120 meters is the distance, and then 40 seconds is the time. So I'm going to go 120 meters divided by 40 seconds is my time. 40 seconds. So 120 divided by 40 is going to end up being 3 meters per second. And that looks like that is going north. Okay. And then on to my last one. And then this looks like, let's see, 60 meters is my distance. And then 20 seconds is my time. So I'm going to go 60 meters divided by 20 seconds is equal to 3 meters per second. And that looks like this is going west. Okay, that looks like it's going west. So I'm going to put that W on there. Okay, cool. So that is all my stuff. And I've shown all my work. So we're all good there. Now, we're on to this bottom part, okay? So now that we've got all the speeds and then we made them velocities by giving them direction, it says, first thing says, average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time. Totally fine. Now, total distance. How do I get the total distance? How do I get the total distance? That is correct. Hopefully you got this. We need to add up all of the distances. So all these distances here, all these distances. I guess I should have highlighted them instead of putting a line through them. Boom. All these distances, right? Sauce, 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 sauce. Okay. So then I'm just going to go over here and I'm going to say 90 meters. That's the first distance. The second distance for segment B is 120 meters. And then the next one is 250 meters. And then 120 meters. And then 60 meters. Now, you can use a calculator or you can add these up the long way, like however you want to do it. It's totally fine, right? However you feel comfortable, because I'm like, okay, bam, bam, bam. Mr. Farr just adds this up in his head, sorry. But if you want to use a calculator, it is totally cool, okay? So that adds 2, and then 1 plus 2 is 3, plus that is 4. That's going to equal 6, so 640 meters. That's what is the total distance, okay? 640 meters. All I did was add up all of these distances. Okay, then here, let's go with blue, right? Blot out. Now, to get the next thing I need is a total time. So to get the total time, I'm just going to add this, all these, right? All these times up right here, right? All these times. All right, cool. And I'm going to do that on this side. And so the first time is 30 seconds. The second one is 60. Segment C is 50. Oh, let me get my units in there. That's important, okay? And then the next one is 40. Looks like 40 seconds for segment D, okay? And then the last one, segment E, is 20 seconds. That's where I got all those times from, okay? They're highlighted in blue, okay? Cool. So then I'm just going to add all them jokers up. And if I add all of them up, they end up being 200 seconds. And again, if you need the calculator, go ahead and use it. So 200 seconds right here. And then in order to get, I need total distance, which I have right here, divided by total time, which I have right here. Cool. So then it's 640 meters divided by 200 seconds. And if you do the math, it's 3.2 meters per second. All right. And that is what we would call the average speed. Okay. For the overall, for all of these different speeds and distances that we're traveling, that is the average speed. Now, if you wanted to turn this into velocity, you would have to say, okay, compared to where I started and then where my final position is, what direction does that seem to be? If this direction is north right here, this is north, and then this is east, it looks like a combination between the two. So I would be like north, east is the direction that we were heading in if we wanted to turn it into velocity. All right. That is it for today. I'm not going to go any further than that. Some classes got a little bit further ahead than this, which is totally fine, but this is as far as we are going to get today. Now, can I bring myself back? Maybe not. Okay, so here, I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to bring that other screen back because I want to make sure we're good. So look, if you understand all of this, okay, if you understand everything that's on this screen and how we got each section, how we calculated the total time, way over there, how we calculated the total distance, how we got the directions from the map, how we calculated all of these speeds, then you are good. If not, right, then you could definitely rewatch the tutorial video as I walk through step by step. You could also type in Khan Academy and then say average speed, or how to calculate speed, how to calculate velocity, right? You can do some stuff like that. You can go to Tuesdays and Thursdays tutorials. Miss Rigo is excellent at math. She can also teach you those things there. Or you could come into my Sting session or come talk to me during lunch. I'm usually in here eating lunch. Me and Mr. Tafoya will explain it up on the board and walk through everything with you. But as a student, if you are not understanding something, this is just in very general. It could be this or it could be other things. If you're not understanding something, then you definitely got to take action. Don't just not do anything. Don't be in the class being like, I don't understand, but then you're not willing to do anything to try and learn so that you can make sure you are where you're supposed to be. Understanding this, you're going to need this for this lab that we have coming up on Friday, and then some labs that we have for the next chapter is going to use all of this information. So make sure you know what's going on. All right, y'all. Peace.